So it is exciting. It's been awesome. We're here in our new home in Lusaka, on the sim base, and we're very happy where we are living. We've got great neighbours. You might even hear them later on because they're right next door and they got their own program here. But this is life on the mission base. Here, different programs happening in different homes. Even in this very home, we have some programs. I'll tell you more about that just now. But it's exciting. We're happy to be here. But there are challenges.
Yeah. And we turn out to be a lot more busy, a lot busier than what we were before in Shavuma, which is why we've also been so quiet on video and so on.
It's been super busy, hasn't it?
It's been hard just keeping up with our newsletters monthly. So so if it's been quiet, that's the reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Renee, what is our primary? You said we're busy, but what are we busy with?
Well, in our week we have a lot of programs that are running. So I suppose we could start with a Sunday because our Sunday services are the start of the week, the first day of the week. So Sunday we meet with Christ Church Lusaka. And part of the program, there are various things that are involved with the Sunday service, other than preaching, which sometimes Michael does, sometimes Pastor Paul Kayumba does, or one of the other men leaders that are there. My role is, and that I prepare for every Sunday, is children's ministry. So we have a 4 or 5 minute slot of children's ministry every Sunday. During the week, it is about thinking through the message that's going to be preached on Sunday, and how do I, in 4 or 5 minutes, bring that message across to the children. We generally try to ask them some questions about the week before. We try to engage them and help them to understand that day's sermon by giving them a little bit of a recap or a summary, and in an age-appropriate way.
And I think that's been very helpful. I mean, especially seeing the kids engage, not only with the Sunday service that they're present at, but also in trying to remember what happened last week, and you give them these little rewards, these sweets or for answering questions, right? And that really motivates them, and it's really, really encouraging to see them actually remember. I don't think many adults can remember what was preached the previous Sunday. And so it's good that when the kids are challenged to remember what they learned the previous Sunday, it even reminds adults who are in the church. And it kind of sets the scene, for today's message. Is because we've remembered the context and what we learned and where we're going in the story and what's going to happen. So it's really awesome to see the kids engage that way.
And every week they get a memory verse, which they then memorize during that week and come and recite on the Sunday, which has been very encouraging to my heart as well. But then during the service, while the sermon is going on, I also have prepared for the young ones that can't read or write a coloring sheet, and for the older ones that can read and write a worksheet, which has questions about the passage that's going to be preached, which they then can fill out the answers of, and then take it home during the week and continue to work on that. The next Sunday they can return it to me and I can mark it for them to give them feedback on the worksheet. So that's been very rewarding, and that does take some time during the week. But then there are some other things from my side. On Tuesdays, there's a women's Bible study, which we're working through a Beth Moore Bible study, which I have to work through, and then oftentimes I'm leading the Bible study. It happens here on the Sim base. It's not related to the church that we're working with, but it is with women, and Rose takes most of the responsibility, but she's been very busy, so she's asked me to do that, and it's been my joy to take that on. I'm busy developing a discerning heart. I'm working through a women's discipleship program or course, which is called Developing a Discerning Heart. So I'm just busy learning.
Okay, and what's that for?
It's basically to learn myself how to be a disciple of Jesus, but also to disciple other women, and train other women to be disciples and to disciple others. So that's mainly what it's about. On Wednesday, we have the growth group, which you can talk about.
Yeah, well, the growth group we have in Matero. Matero is across to the east, to the west from where we are here, and it's at the home of one of our members, and it's a Bible study. It's in Tukai Community Church we would call that a connect group, but it's a growth group here where we're growing in our understanding of the Bible and growing in our knowledge of each other. And so that's awesome, preparing for that Bible study is also good, and then just engaging with the people who come there. I always appreciate the comments that they make, the questions that they ask in the Bible studies, and that's important. It's really why we meet. So that's on Wednesday nights. We have a growth group. And then on Friday nights, we also have another growth group, and that happens out on the east side of us, a little area called Ngombe. And we meet, again, one of our members' homes, Peter. And that's also great encouragement to spend that time with our brothers and sisters there, digging into God's Word, and asking questions and praying for each other. So I think that's another important part of why we come there, share some prayer requests and pray for each other.
And then Thursday and Saturday, you facilitate 2 Explore groups, which I'm participating in. So I'm actually doing the Explore program and students. Learning with it. So there's often homework and things that we have to do with that, and studying. So that's on Thursday afternoons. They come to our home here, and then I'm also obviously participating, and Michael's facilitating, and we are going through book 1 and book 3, with book 1 on Thursdays and book 3.
Book 1 is Explore the Bible, so it's a summary of the entire Bible. And then book 3,
which happens on Saturdays,
Explore the Work of the Apostles, which is looking at the book of Acts predominantly. And so some of our church leaders, those who are identified for leadership roles in our church, are going through that course. Currently they are, including yourself, there are 4 students who meet on Saturdays, and on Thursdays there are 3 students who meet. So pray for the Explore course as the guys are meeting and growing. They're writing exams soon, right?
End of May.
End of May, writing exams. So it's a pressure time for our students. And then on my side, I suppose my week has been busy with preparing sermons. It's the first time since I've been through Bible college and through curacy and made a deacon in a rich denomination that I'm actually preaching services every Sunday consecutively, and it's been a big challenge for me to only have 1 week to prepare a sermon. And then the next week I got to start a new sermon. The next week start a new sermon. I used to have the liberty of knowing, okay, you're preaching in 6 weeks' time, and I've got 6 weeks to prepare a sermon, and then the next sermon is another 6 weeks from there.
And you haven't just had a sermon to prepare. Oftentimes it's also been order of service, and also in a sense mentoring and discipling the other church leaders who have not done order of service before, to teach them to do order of service so that they can, so kind of doing it, but then sitting with them and showing them why you're doing what, and having them engage with it, and then and then
music as well. So I've also been helping with the music ministry, and I was choosing the songs not only for the order of service and for Sunday, but then also working with Felix, who's the only musician, and we're so grateful for the piano and the guitar and even the bass guitar, which St. Mark's Church Plumstead donated to our church here, Christ Church Lusaka, because those instruments are what we're using to prepare for music. So Felix plays the piano and I play the guitar, but we also got to practice those songs and then find time together to come and do that practice. So music, order of service, preparing the sermons themselves, and the Explore courses during the week, and then the Bible studies during the week. Those have really been keeping us busy.
But there are the 2 Bible studies that we've been attending, but we've also been very excited because some of the members of our church and those who are earmarked for leadership have on their own started Bible studies in their own community. So there's a further 2 and potentially 3 that have started. The 2 have already started. One is on Wednesday afternoon at 6 miles. We have visited them once, but it's quite a distance out, so we haven't been attending regularly. And then the other one is at Lilande, which is the other end, that side, and they've just started, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. Paul started his first one yesterday.
Yeah, so Mr. Ngoma there, he started his, and then Mr. Malenga also wants to start one in his home, so that potentially could start next week or the week after, and that's very exciting to see that growth that's happening, and
it is exciting.
The initiative that the leaders are taking and their own as well, which is
so it's brilliant to be working with this sort of core group of leaders who are learning through the Explore course, and we have opportunity to rub shoulders together, and they also get opportunity to preach every now and then, and we kind of help them through that as well, and the other thing is seeing these Bible studies start, and then taking initiative, and actually that I'm not actually leading every Bible study, but going also to Mr. Zulu's house, and he's reading and leading the Bible study, and I'm a participant now, being blessed by his leading in the Bible study, and the whole community is being blessed by that. So it's just awesome to be part of this little church that's growing, and that these key leaders who have been identified are actually growing and using their gifts to help the church grow.
And the people in the neighborhood are coming to attend those Bible studies. So it's not just our church people that are coming. There are other people that don't attend church on Sunday, or who are not able to make it to church on Sunday, who are able to be blessed and grow spiritually through those Bible studies in the middle of the week. So that's been very rewarding. Sometimes we feel disheartened when we look at, for example, the change in numbers, the diminishing numbers sometimes on a Sunday, because we've been struggling with the venue and it's been difficult. And then it feels disheartening, but we've been encouraged by seeing the developments during the week as well.
No, it has. Now, you mentioned the venue. So our church, Christ Church Lusaka, has been struggling with a venue since the end of March. The church used to meet at the university campus here in Lusaka, the UNZA, University of Zambia. But by the end of March, the university didn't have any more room for us, and asked us to move out of the campus, which really means we've been, since that moment, looking for a new place to use for our venue, and we really haven't found a place. We've applied in so many different places, but finding a venue in Lusaka, this busy city, is not easy. Fortunately, SIM Zambia have allowed us to use their boardroom here on this property, and that's obviously in the interim. But every Sunday we're telling our people we're not sure where we're meeting next week, but we'll try and make a plan for this week to be here again. And so that's been unsettling for our congregation. Not only do they come from very far away in different places of Lusaka, and it costs them money they don't have really to come to church, and with the idea of not really having a secure venue, they don't want to waste that money coming and not actually have a meeting. And so it has affected our numbers on Sunday. But I had a lovely and encouraging meeting with one of our bishops in Cape Town, Martin Morrison, and sharing these things with him. He actually encouraged me. He said, "No, Michael, this is actually where you need to focus your time and energies on the week, the meetings during the week, the midweek meetings, the Bible studies, the one-on-one, the mentorship, the discipleship, the growing those relationships is where we measure the church life, church activity, church growth. On Sundays, we're always going to have a problem with Sunday venues because we're a small church, a growing church. And so that encouraged us to keep on with this midweek meetings, this discipleship, this mentoring, the growing of relationships, nurturing relationships. And that's been awesome to be doing that. It requires a lot of movement, so we've got to go to many places. And right now we don't have a vehicle of our own. We're using a vehicle, which costs more money than if we had our own vehicle.
Because we pay a rate per kilometre. So
we pay a rate per kilometre, $50 per kilometre working $1. So every 2 kilometres costs $1. And that's quite expensive. It's almost 20 kwacha per dollar here.
And Lusaka is quite widespread, and our church people are all over the place. So we've been trying to visit a lot of people and meet with them one-on-one in discipleship. But it's hard sometimes when in the back of your mind you've got this thing. It's like, I've got to go all the way there to meet this person. And it's only for this one reason. Is it worth the money that we're going to be spending on this, and so on? And I wish it wasn't in the back of my mind the whole time, but oftentimes it's there, and you think, what else can I combine into that? And time-wise, how's it going to fit in with other things that you need to do? So there are those challenges, which I think.
I mean, it's not uncommon for it to cost us $40 just to go to one of our members' homes. $40, that's almost 800 rand in South Africa. And here in Kwacha it's almost the same, 800 kwacha. 800 rand is about the same. But that's expensive just to come visit one person's home.
And most of those things you should be able to claim from a ministry fund. But because we're still working on our support and our ministry fund.
When you say working on support, we're trying to raise the adequate amount of support.
Yes, our monthly budget, meet our monthly budget in terms of support. So ministry fund is almost non-existent.
We do have some money coming into our ministry fund, which is very helpful. And we thank you for those who are putting money into our ministry account. It helps us to pay for expenses like this. And that's obviously costs of ministry. But what we're really trying to do is reduce those costs, and the way we need to do that is actually to get our own vehicle that would be more economic to make these kind of trips. So pray for us. Thank you so much for those who are working back home to arrange a fundraiser for a vehicle for us. We do appreciate it. I actually heard that from Denzel just yesterday, that he wants to do a comrades marathon running for a vehicle.
For Watson's vehicle.
For Watson's vehicle.
We're very grateful for that, and
that will be very helpful to us.
Support that. It's God's work.
Thank you very much for your support. And for your prayers. We really appreciate your prayers. We appreciate you responding to our newsletters. We appreciate your encouragements on WhatsApp. Thank you so much for your guys' love for us and your partnership in this work. We're not alone in this. We realize we need support in order to get this done, and you guys are great support. So we appreciate our church back home. We appreciate all of you who pray for us, who support us financially. Every evening when we sit down and thank God for a meal, we thank God for you as well, because we know the meal's on the table because of people like you.
Exciting.
Anyway, so anything else we need to talk about?
Well, I can just say that God is at work, and we thank Him for all of you who are also praying for us, because oftentimes when we feel emotionally almost under attack from the devil and feel disheartened, we can be encouraged and filled with joy, because we know that there are people out there that are praying for us. So we really do thank you for that. So,
Brilliant. Bye.